And yeah, that's tomorrow. And we're also going to do one at Ignite as well.
Super. So that's very exciting. So yeah, everybody, please check it out because it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of really cool events. Please go to m365vc.com to learn more. Lots of really good music. I mean, the music lineup alone is pretty stellar. So look forward to seeing you guys there. There is Microsoft Ignite right around the corner as well, and as Joel said, the second of the two launch parties will occur at the end of Ignite. So target day is the 24th. Some more info to follow or to come regarding that second party. All right. Without further ado, I want to hand things over to Michelle. She's talking about Microsoft Teams, what's new, what's coming, and we'll hand it over to you, Michelle.
All right, that sounds great. I'll go ahead and share my screen. You can see it?
Looking good.
All right. Yay, I'm so excited to be here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the United California M365 user group. I got a bunch of hashtags out there on Twitter that you can follow to learn more about the event. I'm going to talk to you today about what's new in Microsoft Teams. And I bet you're thinking I can't cover it all. You're probably right. There is so much out there to talk about. So I'm going to give you as much as I can. And as much as I've unearthed in blogs, roadmap, different spaces in Twitter, on LinkedIn, by following different people like Jeff Teeper, who owns Teams, Caruana, and so forth. So any little tidbits that I've been able to find, I've put together in this deck. So I'm going to highlight the ones that I think are cool. I'm going to highlight many of them, and we're going to take you through the entire platform. So it's not just about a meeting. We're going to talk about a device, and we're going to talk about apps and integration. So hopefully you're going to get as much as you can out of this. And let's get started. All right, a little bit about who I am. I am Michelle Gilbert. I am a Microsoft Teams technical specialist, as well as being the president of the Minnesota M365 user group. And I am an MVP alum. This is how you can contact me. If you would like to contact me through LinkedIn or follow me on Twitter, that'd be great. Just let me know where I found you or where you found me, and we can connect. All right, I just think, can you believe Microsoft Teams turned 3 back in March? I know I can't. Teams launched in 2017, and it's amazing to see the progress, and I'm going to walk through where we came from, all the different features we rolled out, and then what's going to be coming. But here you can see Teams launched in 25 languages right when it rolled out. It had chat-based workspace and integrations into Office 365. And as it grew, we decided a free version made sense. So in 2018, that was rolled out. And of course, don't forget about the government tenant. Teams is really taken off, and that was rolled out in July 2018. And then we had first line worker focus for 2019, and that really is taking the whole workforce and bringing them into Teams and not leaving anyone out. And then now, and as you can see, March 2020, Teams turned 3, added a ton of features, focused on first line and very industry specific. And at that time, we had 44 million daily active users. And then, of course, the pandemic hit, and Teams became that space in your business to connect more virtually. And we grew in 1 month from 44 to 75 million users, which daily active users, that is incredible. And it's only grown since. I haven't even talked about the number of meeting minutes, billions of meeting minutes that people are using Teams for to connect and to keep their businesses going. All right, so remember we started, I mentioned March 2017. Customers provided a lot of feedback, as they do for all of our suggestions. And a lot of them just really made sense because we were moving from Skype, or taking what really was foundational in Skype and moving that into Teams. And then taking what we already do in collaboration, but moving it into Teams in a way that can connect all the different systems into one location. So this is really what, at a snapshot, what we delivered in 2018. And then again in 2018 to 2019 from Ignite, your feedback has allowed us to evolve Microsoft Teams, evolving so rapidly. We added a ton of new capabilities to just meet all of the different requirements out there. And when I first saw this slide, I was like, hold on, wait. There was so much goodness in there. I want to see what it is. So what I tried to do, so I could better digest it and then give it to you, is take everything that was rolling through and then just freeze it. So just seeing from location sharing, to meeting options, to chat filters, live events rolled out during that year. The Graph API started connecting, discovery management. So now we're incorporating security and compliance, some more moderation and administrative things happening, and then network considerations. And then, of course, as we all know, private channel, that one piece that had a lot of attention and a lot of opinions. So here's a better snapshot, probably to give you the depth of all the different capabilities rolled out within chat and collab, meetings and calling, app and workflow, and then the admin and security track. So think of this. This is 2019. The majority are highlighted things that were delivered. This is 2020 as of June. So when I think of this, I'm like, okay, wow, look at the growth. And then the growth is only going to continue. So I'm going to try and cover the highlights of the last 6 months in this presentation. Hopefully what you're going to see today will be things you have heard, but then also things that are coming that are going to really you use Microsoft Teams. All right, first off, I want to level set. I don't want to ever presume that you know what Microsoft Teams is. You know, you coming to a M365 user group, perhaps your whole thing is SharePoint, and that's all you've done is maybe SharePoint on-prem. You're getting ramped up on what Teams really even is. So for you, I want to make sure that you have a better understanding of Microsoft's vision of Teams as a hub for teamwork. It's a chat-based workspace that enables teams to be more productive, giving them a single and secure location that brings together everything a team needs. And that includes chat, meetings, calls, files, and tools. Microsoft Teams really delivers on 4 core promises to create a digital workspace for high-performing teams. So first, Microsoft Teams solves for the communication needs of a diverse workforce. It has evolved really to be a complete meetings and calling solution, including chat, voice, and video. And of course, you can use Teams for informal one-to-one. I certainly do that all the time, or group chats directly on your phone, even if you're on the go. Or of course, you can have open conversations within channels. And channels is a group of people you may be working on a project with. So it enables people to share information in a more transparent way, instead of going through 20 different emails and looking at the thread and what did this person say and am I supposed to do something with this? It alleviates that, and now you can see it all within one particular channel. And then of course, instead of going through those 20 emails or that 20 emails about that same topic, you no longer have to look for what am I supposed to do something here. You can now, if you find yourself being @mentioned, you know that that means something's for you. Somebody's addressing you or wanting something from you. So just a different way to work, more efficient and more productive. And then of course, when it comes to collaboration, this is a deep office integration. So that enables, I think, multi-generational workforces to really work together, especially if you've lived in Excel forever. Work on it inside of Teams. And of course, if it's located in Teams, uh, it has co-authoring capability. So you can have your team together working on that same file. So it really brings that collaboration, deep integrated app integration into it through the Files tab. One thing you might not realize is that there is a Files icon as well. So you don't see it pinned normally. Of course, you can pin it, but that Files icon is an easy way for you to find all of your files that you've recently worked on, the files that are in different locations, whether it's OneDrive or SharePoint. So instead of having to go out to all these locations, you can actually get it all within that Files icon. All right, the next is about customizing and extending. So many of you definitely use other products in Office 365, and we certainly realize that. And instead of having to jump out to another system or out to another browser, you can extend those business line applications within Teams. You can do this by connecting to them through the Microsoft Store. And that store, or team store, if you will, is always located on the left-hand side. Your organization can allow or disallow certain applications, and that's one way to take advantage of the business line applications you use today and bring them in with where you work. So that's one of my favorite places is customizing, and we'll get into what more application integration we have coming your way in later slides. And of course, last but not, I come from the IT pro in my entire career. So to me, the Teams Admin Center is one of the fastest growing for a 3-year product for all the different policy settings, configurations, analytics, reporting, just a lot of really greatness that's being added all the time. So just know that Teams does come with the enterprise grade security, compliance, manageability that you have been used to in all the other admin centers. So huge value add. All right, hopefully that got you a good overview. Now let's go ahead and focus on communicate. All right, there are 4 primary meeting types, and I want to just cover some high-level things to make sure everyone understands what they are. The first one is scheduled. That's a very structured meeting. I would say that we are doing a very structured and scheduled meeting right now for our user group. So that's how I would classify that. This is where you include participants in and outside your org. Then you've got ad hoc, which is you can use a Meet Now. Maybe you're having a chat with someone and you go ahead and click on Meet Now, and then you can bring in video and start doing screen sharing, doing some whiteboarding. So that's called ad hoc. Then you've got channel. To me, this is one of the most undiscovered, yet I think most utilized or could be most utilized in organizations because it really takes a look at what do you normally do? Do you have a daily stand-up or a scrum meeting or a team meeting on a weekly basis? That's really where channel really makes sense. And when you create a channel meeting, then it will notify, as long as everybody has their notifications set, that a meeting has started. So you don't have to live in Outlook and figure out, well, where is that link or what's next for my schedule. It will pop up when somebody's a really great underutilized tool or way to have a meeting. And then the next one is live events. The live events are really what you think of as anyone that's up to 10,000, and we'll talk about the meeting limits in a little bit and how they have been increased. But these are where you have town halls, you may have a sales conference internally, you may have webinars or even large learning sessions. So this is where you have moderation, Q&A. So just giving you an overview of what those are so you understand them as we go into what's new. And there's your announcement. Microsoft 365 live event limit increases. We have learned that this is so needed right now while everyone is working from home and companies are trying to figure out how do we connect and have that corporate communication down to everyone. And that's really live events is really helping with that. So temporarily raising the default limit to October 1st, 2020. And of course, look for more information as we get near it. And that's where the limit is set to 20,000 attendees. The concurrent events are 50 events, before it was 15. And then the event duration, instead of 4 hours, is now 16 hours per broadcast. So giant leaps and bounds. Kudos to the live event team for making this possible. All right, new innovation. There's a lot going on, and I probably won't even talk to you about what's shipped since January, or even in the first quarter, because that's gone. We were probably already consuming that and know about it. But what's been shipped in the second quarter, multi-window for meetings, live captions, the Citrix VDI support for Teams meetings, share your Microsoft whiteboard, presenter and attendee roles. Those are after you create a meeting, you get a button in your meeting invite. If you're the organizer, it says meeting options. You can click on that and change the roles. As a matter of fact, that's also where you change the lobby settings. So instead of having to admit everyone, if your administrator has given you control to change that, you can do that in that location. And of course, everybody knows raise hand. I think I've been seeing so many people use that in so many interesting ways. Then we've got meeting experience, so you can just end the meeting, it will stop it. And then meeting experience, the right click join. So if you're in your calendar inside of Outlook, you can just go ahead and right click and join the meeting. Here's our meeting feature recap for general availability. We're all probably pretty familiar with custom background and blur, the multi-window chat that you can pull out, meeting chat, files, notes, etc., live captions, video layout 3x3. I remember that was super exciting when that came out, and then raising hand. And then what's coming soon is the ability to add a distribution list or a group to a scheduled meeting. No longer having to add one person at a time. So I'm really excited about that, especially as you do large meetings. And speaking of large meetings, we've got large meeting support, 1,000 persons meetings. So that's pretty big number, but it's been a huge ask from customers to say, hey, we have more than 250 or 300 or 350. We need more support. That will be coming out soon. We've got multi-window meetings and calling, video layout, that's that 7x7, together mode, dynamic view, video filters. Don't worry, I will show you all of this. Virtual breakout rooms, I might have a sneak peek, and noise suppression. So again, I think everybody's seen that video where if somebody's in a coffee shop or maybe they're eating potato chips, you don't hear that noise while you're in the meeting. All right, video custom background. This is where the video capability of having a background and the background blur had come out. It was really interesting because everyone remembers that newscaster that had the child that ran in and then the nanny came after and grabbed her. Blur has certainly helped with that. But then custom backgrounds are a way to put more personality, maybe company branding, into your background. And then this feature really builds upon the background blur, which that was the AI capability that was able to locate who you are and then blur everything around it and then set that background in its place, which is really fantastic. So now we can upload our own custom images. All right, raise hand in a meeting. That's Microsoft Teams raise hand. That is found on the toolbar, the meeting toolbar. It has already been launched. And this is a really great way to make people communicate who normally may not want to turn on their camera nor want to talk. They're the people who might be considered the ones who just type their questions in. Now you can have a little bit more interaction by being more inclusive and say, hey, everybody this or everybody that, and do a kind of a quick poll and people can raise their hands. So a nice real lead in to how we need to engage and be more interactive and how Microsoft is really focusing on that. All right, multi-window chat. Microsoft, as you know, is starting up with that pop-out chat. Now you can have multiple windows. This has been rolling out since July, so I believe everybody should have that today. It's a little icon on the right that you just hit an arrow and it pops out. And so if you're a person who likes multiple screens, you can just move them to different screens, get it out of the way. I think this is also very comforting for those who lived in Skype. Now you've got a more narrow window. You can make it, of course, resize it, make it bigger, make it smaller, but make it easier for you for how you work. And then, of course, the Microsoft Teams multi-window meetings and calling experiences. These experiences are very similar to chat. You'll be able to pull them out, and this should be releasing within the next month and a half. So now think of, you can have your Teams meeting over here. You can have your chat over here on another screen, and then still see Teams and work within a document. Much more fluid way of working. Everyone loves the single dashboard, but when you have to pop it out, it's just nice to have that option. So I'm excited for everyone to be able to get to see that. All right, as you know, 3x3 is here. I don't need to drain this slide, but the the 9-person view has been great, but it certainly has not been enough when you have larger meetings. So this is absolutely one of my favorite blog posts I have ever seen, or articles, however you want to call it, by Jared, called Reimagining Virtual Collaboration in the Future of Work and Learning. This was posted out on July 8th, 2020. And I can't tell you enough how many times I've gone back to it, probably over a dozen for sure, to go, wait, what was that one again? I've got to figure this out. I hope I get it soon. You know, all those kind of really exciting things, because the announcements were just incredible. But they weren't just, hey, we did all this stuff. This was really about how do we have people feel more included and engaged while they work from home. This is, you know, taking a look at reducing meeting fatigue. I am in virtual meetings day in and day out, hour by hour by hour. I'm learning how to reduce that fatigue. Together mode is one of those things that's going to answer for that, and I'll talk about what that is in a second. But there are other things. And just a couple of tips, not on this slide, but I have set my meeting options that when I create a meeting, if it's for 30 minutes, I actually have it stop 5 minutes early. So it's actually only 25 minutes. So I get a 5-minute break to go get water, go get the mail, take a stretch. But these are just good things to do because we have to figure out how to reduce that meeting fatigue. But Microsoft has been focusing on this for quite some time, and that's what a lot of these features are evolved from. All right, top 20 upcoming features announced in July on that blog. Number 1, together mode. 2, dynamic view. 3, large gallery view. 4, virtual breakout rooms. I'm sure there's a lot more coming there. Video filters. Reflect messaging extension. Live reactions, again, including more people. PowerPoint live presentations to Teams. Chat bubbles. Those are chats in context to your meeting instead of opening up another slide. Live captions with speaker attribution, learning about who's the one speaking instead of trying to locate. Live transcripts with speaker attribution. Large meeting support, multi-window meetings, Microsoft Whiteboard, suggested replies, the list goes on. Microsoft Teams displays, Cortana, touchless meeting experience, meeting room capacity. To digitally place participants in a shared background. This is helping drive people feeling like I can see everyone now. I'm not just looking at you know, either somebody's initials or a picture or 3x3. Now I see everyone in one screen. This has really been Based on decades of research about reducing fatigue for frequent video meetings. This has been coming and being researched on for a very long time. And so the release timing is on the roadmap for September of 2020. So look for it next month. But hold on July 30th, the NBA already outfitted each game court with 17-foot tall LED screens that wrap 3 sides of the arena. So if you have not seen this yet, this is pretty incredible. These stands are populated with more than 300 cheering fans who join together in a Microsoft Teams meeting using Together mode. And then alongside, participants can even watch a live feed of the game right within Teams. So this is, I think, going to be a really interesting new way that you can experience ringside seats and not necessarily feel like you have to be in that arena and feeling safe. I'm excited. All right, here's dynamic view. I'm going to cruise through these quick. I've got a lot more to go here. All right, use of AI in meetings that's dynamically optimized, sharing content, video participants. This is where you can see people side by side. You can have content in person. So really great ways to move around, change it up so you're not looking at one stale screen over and over for an hour that you have to be in that meeting. Next, large gallery view. As you've been probably watching, 7 by 7, that would be 49 videos that you can watch at one given time, releasing August, September 2020. Virtual breakout rooms. Now I stole this from Jeff Teeper, who posted it on Twitter. This is breaking out your meeting into separate rooms to facilitate smaller discussions, learning, but the meeting host has that capability. So this is what the screenshot looks like. So it looks like we've got one meeting going on. Does anybody notice the icon that's unique? Let's see, if we walk through it, I think everybody's trying to figure out what's going to be. We know this to be participants. We know this to be comments, our conversation. This is going to be your hand raised. This must be something. It would be the breakout room icon. So if I click on it, then it looks like a panel might pull out this way. And it looks like then I can now assign participants that's in my current meeting and then push them or drag them. I'm not sure how they would do it into these rooms, but it looks like you have to create the room first maybe, and they're closed until you assign people. It looks interesting. I'm excited. And these are all guesses, by the way. I have no knowledge other than the screenshot. So I think the screenshot sometimes can give away quite a bit. All right, video filters. I really like this. I have been really trying to figure out how to add lighting. I'm not a newscaster. I haven't worked in lighting or in broadcasting. So for everyone that's back at home, sometimes you only see a corner of a person. This really helps with your lighting. Some people might be facing a window or even working in the closet. I do know somebody who was just doing some work down in their basement, no windows. It was really dark. So these filters are going to really help adjust that lighting level, soften it so you feel like you are a little more confident as you are in a meeting. So look for that coming. Again, Q4. I'm not going to give you any exact dates because there is no such thing as exact dates. There are periods of time for some of these capabilities. And that's really all about how things get rolled. And it can take a couple months to get rolled out to the entire, all the tenants and all the data centers all over the world. Next, we have Reflect messaging extension. This is going to give managers, leaders, teachers even using the education tenant an easy way to check in with their team. So basically IT admins can install the Reflect extension from GitHub and then connect it to their tenant and to that particular team to be able to utilize. Live reactions. To me, I'm looking forward to this the most, especially as I'm speaking with you today. I have no idea if you have fallen asleep or if you think what I'm sharing is absolutely fantastic. But with live reactions, you can see that people can clap, they can heart, they can laugh, they can smile as you're presenting, making, again, a more interactive means to how we can communicate and feel like we're connected while we are virtual. Q4 timing on that as well. PowerPoint live presentations to teams. This is when you can have PowerPoint come in, assist users in making them engaging and inclusive. So it is GA right now for the web, but we are going to be bringing it in Q4, and that's for future enabling audience engagement right within Teams. Chat bubbles, I might have alluded to this earlier. So chats sent during Teams meetings usually surface today in a panel that you have to open up and go, wow, I missed the whole thing, had no idea because I wasn't paying attention. Now it's actually going to be more central to the conversation by having it overlaid on the particular person who made the comment. So besides being able to have live reactions, now you can actually see what they're sharing. So you're giving them a voice as well, which is really exciting. Live captions with speaker attribution. I can't tell you enough how many times I'm like, wait, who's talking? Because maybe I just didn't know who they were. And they didn't have their camera on. So all you see is initials. And if you don't know the group that you're meeting with, it can be very difficult to detect as you're maybe taking attendance or maybe what roles people have and you're trying to type it, you kind of miss while you're trying to see who's talking, what that information was. So this is really going to allow for connecting who's speaking and the captions of who is speaking in context to the meeting. So really exciting stuff. Hey, August. I don't believe it's been updated yet on the roadmap if they're pushing it out, because that can happen for sure. But I do see it August, and it is August 26th. So who knows? Maybe it might get pushed out, but look for that one on the roadmap too. Live transcripts with speaker attribution. This is kind of interesting. This is where if transcription is turned on, you can read and follow along, which is absolutely fantastic. If you're somebody who may want to just read the whole transcript, or whatever the case is, you have a transcript that you can just follow along and read. And then at the end, that transcript file will automatically be saved in that chat tab for the meeting. So you can always go back to it and read. So release timing on that does say Q4. Large meeting support. This is the interactive meetings for 1,000 participants and overflow. So what that means, like I had now announced, large meeting support is for 1,000, but that's not where we stop. So for interactive meetings, you can certainly have 1,000 people for chatting, for talking, for having videos turned on, for real-time collab. However, if you have that 1,001 or even more people coming in, what they do is they basically go into a view-only meeting experience. And that can go up to 20,000 participants. So as people drop off, they can come into that. And again, it says Q4. So just look for that at that point. Multi-window meetings and calling. As you can see here, that's a new experience. And you can pull out the meeting. So I mentioned this quite a bit. This is where you're can drag it to another screen or keep it on here in context. I'm really excited for it. It says releasing September 2020. I'm pretty sure that might happen. All right, Microsoft Whiteboard update. Whiteboard in Teams will soon be updated. It is there today, but there's just going to be new features added to it. So sticky notes, pen and ink, drag and drop. These features will be able to have access to touchscreen or Surface Hub to participate in those sessions during the team meeting. So big things coming to Whiteboard. I see it so much happening in that space, and really it's ever growing. And that looks like a September release timing as well. All right, suggested replies. Much like LinkedIn, if you're using that today, I think it's pretty common. Basically, it's using assisted AI which if I interpret that correctly, it's reading, some bot maybe is reading my file and says, oh, based on that, it looks like it might want these 3 responses. So it'll give you 3 different ideas. And then that's nice for just an easy touch response if you're on the go or you don't have much more to say other than thanks. It's just a quick way to be able to do that with that suggested reply. That does say a timing of September 2020. Anything I say on these slides today, go check the roadmap. These are the current times. So whenever you're watching this particular video, just note August 26th today, 2020. If there's changes, the roadmap is always updated with those changes if it needed to be changed. All right, Microsoft Teams displays. This is the all-in-one dedicated Teams devices that features ambient touchscreen, hands-free experience, and all powered by Cortana. There are a ton of things happening in Cortana today, and I'll talk more about that. And let's see, and then it's also the Lenovo ThinkSmart View is going to be the first Microsoft Teams display to market. And then Yealink will deliver one of the first devices in this category as well. So look for that in the US in Q4. All right, Cortana and Teams. I'm excited. Oh, I don't think I joined the meeting to allow mute or shared to allow my sound. Darn it. All right. Anyway, basically Cortana voice assistants coming to Microsoft. And not only that, to Microsoft Teams specifically, where you can ask her to talk just naturally to her to either join a meeting, share a file, send a chat message. I mean, there's so many great things that's happening with the ability to have voice, natural language, communicate to your device and have your device, Cortana in this case, start doing activity for you. So I'm really excited for this. It's unfortunate I didn't do the sound, but I will send a let's see, I'll find a link for you and put it in this meeting after we're through. So this is the overview.
Yeah, we can't hear it, but it would be cool for you to just tell us what it's saying.
What's that?
There's no audio.
Yeah, yep. I was thinking everybody could at least see the, read it for a little bit. Yep. And I'll definitely get the link out. All right, touchless meeting experiences. This is Room Remote in the Teams mobile app, so providing meeting device controls for your Teams rooms and collaboration bars in context right in your device. And of course, Cortana voice assistants for your team room devices, allowing in-room participants to manage, select those controls using spoken command. And then wirelessly cast to any Teams rooms, collab bar, Surface Hub device, make it super easy for people to connect or collaborate in a shared space. That has a release timing of Q4. All right, meeting room notifications. So especially as we're going back to the office, or at least some organizations are, or they're planning to go back to the office, having this ability to lock down the amount of people in the room and say the capacity was at 12, we now need to make the capacity of that room 6. We now can enable that capability through the meeting room capacity notifications. So what I mean by that is we're actually bringing back the AI again into the room to capture people who are in the room with the people counting technology. So they're going to count everyone, and then if there's more than the allotted amount that you had put on that room, a notification will come above the meeting and say you are at capacity, or you are now breaking the policy. I'm not sure the exact wording, but there will be a banner, and then somebody may have to leave the room. So really incredible stuff there. I'm so excited for that. That's looking like Q4 as well. All right, coordinated meetings with Surface Hub and Microsoft Teams rooms. This we have not been able to do before, but you can leverage Teams rooms and Surface Hub all in the same meeting through a coordinated experience. So just letting you know that is a capability coming. All right, now let's focus on Microsoft Teams calling. I think this one confuses people, probably more than any part of Teams, because it's not something they may get or have as an organization. So when people talk about, well, I'll call you, I think it's a new understanding for what is VoIP versus what is phone system versus what is a calling plan. So I'm going to try to level set that real quick as well. So just to go through the history, 2019 was a great year for Microsoft Teams calling. We had a ton of upgrades during that time, won a lot of awards, definitely announced the overall 13 million daily active users at that time, 19 million in Teams. We became in August 2019 the leader in Gartner Meetings Magic Quadrant. Then we went ahead and led in Forrester September of last year, almost a year ago. And then in November, we announced direct routing in use of over 80 countries. So really building on to our Microsoft Teams focus for calling. So all the new innovation in Teams Calling 2020, shipped since January, shipped in the last quarter, and then the features. So some of the features are coming or have just came. One of them, phone system administration enhancements, auto attendant, dynamic emergency calling, call queue updates, the Avaya session border controllers certified for direct routing that just occurred, call merge, multiple number dialing, and then multi-window calling experience. So we've talked about that a few times. When I say multi-window, that's pulling it out. So that means it's kind of like a pop-out. All right, so just a level set here. Microsoft Phone System, this is your calling in the card. No hardware is needed, right? This is as simple as it gets. It's just simply a phone system. All the software is in Teams. So no on-prem solution, and it's a part of E5 or an add-in to get started. These are all the features. So if you're thinking, I wonder if we should move towards that phone system route, these are all the features that are there today. This is publicly known on our site. But if you're looking for feature-to-feature comparison, that's what these are. And then how do you make and receive phone calls in Teams? Because you have a phone system, but now you need a dial tone. So these are the couple ways that you can get dial tones. You use either Microsoft Direct Routing or Microsoft Calling Plan. And so you can either keep your phone numbers or port over your numbers or even use our numbers. So we have numbers as well. So we can be your provider. All right, Microsoft Calling Plans. I guess some things to highlight here is that it is really super simple to provision. And another thing, you can have local, long distance, international calling. You can also add on toll calling. And then you can use communication credits because you get a set number of minutes per user that's pooled for your whole organization. And then you can add on more credits as needed. Then you've got direct routing. This is great, another option for a dial tone. So it's available in the phone system. Basically, you're choosing your provider, your telecom, and your session border controllers to connect and see what's right for you. And we do have Microsoft certified partners in that space. All right, so I mentioned we were in 80 countries. I wanted to just focus one highlight here that's coming in October of 2020 is that we have 6 new calling plans, countries. That's Austria, Denmark, Italy, Portugal, Sweden, and Switzerland. So we are growing our coverage all the time. So if you're looking for global coverage, plans are being enhanced, and it's super simple to deploy. All right, Microsoft Teams devices. Just for a moment, you know, I think of, we usually think of Teams and we think of our PCs. and we think of our mobile devices, but there's a Teams app, of course, on our mobile device and on our laptop, and that's super familiar UI for us. But we actually have desk phones and peripherals. We have our Surface hubs, of course. We have headsets, Teams rooms, and even large screen interactive displays. They're just showing the range, so you understand when I talk about new announcements, what am I referring to? I hope this helps you get familiar that we're really bringing Teams to every single device that we create for a consistent experience across all of your user experiences. All right, let's focus on Collaborate. It's definitely one of my favorites. All right, here's our feature recap. We've got the general availability, list apps. I know that we mentioned that we don't have that in our tenant. It has been GA'd, however, it's being rolled out. So I probably could have pushed that over to the coming soon, but it's a little gray because I think people are it's starting to sprout out. Then we have cross-channel posting, tags in Teams, priority notification. That's where if I need to ring you and do a high alert, maybe I'm a nurse and I need to ring a doctor and we're in a channel conversation of our floor, for instance. If I need to contact you, I can go ahead and do priority notification, and I can make it an emergency where it will ring you every 20 seconds for 20 minutes that you are going to get notified. That's what I mean by priority. Much like priority email, it's a priority notification when you are trying to @mention someone. Then you have read receipts. Currently, read receipts right now are for our public communication, our one-on-one chat, and our channel conversations, and they are coming to private chat soon. And then pin apps and channels, which is one of my favorite features because there are apps that I use that I know other people don't, and vice versa. And then what's coming soon, like I mentioned, read receipts for private chats, private channel for government. Anyone on the call for government, I think have been waiting for that. Contextual search and pinned posts. So you can pin a post like you can pin a channel, like you can pin a document. Pinning is becoming the new thing in 2020. Contextual search, that's Control F. If I want to find something in a channel, and you know how difficult that can be sometimes, especially as it grows, you can hit Control F and now do a contextual search. Then you've got Teams, Outlook email integrations, templates and tasks in Teams, and the new file sharing experiences. All right, here's an announcement for you. Teams, increase team membership and group chat. So we have raised the upper limit on individual team membership from 5,000 to 10,000 users. So if you missed this, note that we have definitely doubled the amount of people that can be in a team. So this is working great for doing process scenarios, large team collaboration, and really focus for first line workers, but can be used by all. And there's a rough idea if you're looking for if that will ever change or to stay current on it. And then the next one is group chats, being able to accommodate up to 300 users. This limit should be starting to roll out soon. All right, using tags. I'm going to walk through some new things that are in this space and explain what they are, because I think they're really interesting and have a really good use case for why would you do the things you do. So Microsoft Teams tags basically lets you categorize people based on attributes. So again, the scenario is I want to contact all the nurses on this floor. I can basically create a tag. I can call it whatever I want. Maybe it's nurses, and I can put all the nurses in there. And then whenever I @mention nurses, it actually goes to all those people. So just a super easy way. We do it a lot for our internal team, and we just call it our team name, and then we can quickly @mention, everybody gets a notification to say to take a look at whatever we're trying to communicate. Yep, and then just @mention. So really simple way to get to people instead of putting in everybody's name. All right, Teams Outlook email integrations. We are definitely making a lot of headway here and really trying to make it super seamless as you move between products within Office 365. So this is sharing email to Teams. sharing it from Outlook. You can share specifically to a channel or to a chat inside of Teams. And then you can share your conversation from Teams back to Outlook. So share a Teams conversation via email without even leaving the app. And of course, if you missed an activity, and it's super easy to walk away, hopefully everybody's going out, taking a little walk on a break, coming back, seeing that they missed an activity within Teams, but they were now in their Outlook. You're going to see that somebody might have mentioned you, and you can reply in line within Outlook instead of hunting and pecking where was that particular activity inside of Teams. So making it really simple to go back and forth. All right, this is going to be coming. This is Microsoft templates in Teams. It's looks like it's going to have a lot of use case. I know that people have already been building things with a Graph API, using the clone team, and trying to have a structure. Instead of doing that in a scripting or development way, we're bringing to you templates that are thought out, that are industry specific, that's going to help get your teams up and running quickly. So not only are these going to be pre-canned, and they're going to have specific apps or channels, however you want to architect that, your company, your IT professional, your admin within your organization can also create custom templates that actually are more specific to your company. So for instance, if you're a construction company, you may have a project that is really consistent over and over and over, and you want the structure to be the same. So you want the general tab, but then you want to have foreman, you want to have supplies, you want to have vendor, you want to have all these things templated out. Now all you do is hit new template or create a team from template, and it builds all of that for you. So super simple to scale, and really provide easy structure so your site owners or team owners don't have to try to mimic or copy from other people's team. So really excited for that. Next one, tasks and teams. I think we've been talking about this for so long. This is really powered by Microsoft To Do and Planner, and you can have all of your tasks, no matter where you are, whether it's Outlook or Planner or To Do, all in one location in an app called Tasks. So to me, I'm really excited for it, especially because you can change the view, and I'm more of a visual person, so I'd really like to see more of my like charts instead of a list view of all of them, because that can be overwhelming. But just to be able to see it in a different way and see what I have that's assigned to me or that are in a particular project. All right, file sharing experience in Teams. Take a look at this this animation here. To me, it's what we've been lacking, what we've needed for quite some time, is that same sharing experience. Whether you're in OneDrive or in SharePoint or in Outlook, I want the same file sharing experience. And so easily bringing that in with the link settings card to have a consistent sharing experience. And this will also help you, especially make sure that you are giving it to the right people. So you have control over that as you go ahead and send. All right, Microsoft Lists, we've talked about it. I am so excited for it because there's so many great things. And Microsoft Lists is built on SharePoint Lists, been rolling out August, September 2020. If you don't see it yet, it should be coming. What's great about it is it's an app that lives in the Office 365 app launcher, or Waffle, we like to call it, as an actual just separate app. And when you create it, you're creating kind of a template, if you will. I almost think of it as like SharePoint content type. And when I create a custom list and I say I want this content, now I've got a templated list. So I like to think about it like that, but it's not just locked down to SharePoint, right? This is expanding on where we really work in lists. And I work in lists inside of SharePoint a lot, or I'm inside of Teams as well. So within Teams, I can go ahead and I can just click on the tab and I can select lists as an app and build my list from there. Now, you're probably wondering, yeah, well, where's the data stored? That's my question too. And because you did it from the team, of course, it's going to live in SharePoint, right? There's no content really living in Teams. So all the files, all the lists, they're going to be living back inside of SharePoint. All right, show channel info in Teams. This is one of those strange icons. It's got an eye, and so it stands for information panel, I believe, although I have seen it called details. But basically what you're getting is more information about the team, and it's coming out instead of me having to go to another screen. I like it because I get to see who's recently contributed as well as updates. So now I can see the most recent updates within that team. What's also great, I don't have to go into the activities. If I go to a team pretty infrequently, but I want to get a quick update, I can go ahead and open up the information panel and just read what was the latest updates to it and who are the recent contributors. So really fun stuff. Meeting extensions. This is going to be really fantastic. All you developers out there, get ready because it's going to get so much better. This is where you're going to be able to design Teams app in the app panel, and that's a right pane right within the meeting. So you can build experiences, bringing in adaptive cards, HTML, and other platform capabilities, really bringing to surface and being able to interact right within the meeting. So you're not leaving, which is pretty incredible. You can also, as you develop, you can configure how the apps will be based on the specific roles or personas in the meeting. So the app will be visible from the meeting toolbar to host tabs. And another capability that developers will be able to take advantage of again is tweeting notifications. So I talked earlier about chat bubbles. I think there's a thing called content bubbles coming. This is interesting. This is where the app will be able to surface important content to their users based on their role or their persona. So content focused announcements. Interesting. Okay. All right, now I want to switch a little bit, talk about our shift that we've done in 2019 on first line worker enablement. So this particular slide is a day in the life of what a first line worker may experience and how you can use Teams. This particular example uses shifts, and shifts is a scheduled a scheduling system or an app within Teams that you can see your shift, you can see a calendar of shifts, somebody else's shifts, you can swap them, you can also do request time off, you can review your schedule and tasks and even company news and have announcements sent to that particular app. So let's get started. All right, connecting everyone. General availability, shifts has been out for a while. Share location, super interesting. Office lens camera, quiet hours, dark mode, virtual consults with bookings. But what's coming soon is the SMS sign-in, which is great. Off-shift access, global sign-out, delegated user management, patient coordination, and audit login shifts. I know a lot of people in the IT space have been waiting for audit logs, so that will be coming soon. All right, so this is what you can do within shifts. The managers really plan the schedules. The managers are a team owner, and then you create a shift from the team. And so all your team members are your employees for that particular shift. So the manager can either upload their shift schedule, or they can just through the UI, they can create a shift and manage that shift request and assign it to the employees. And then employees on their mobile device or within their team's client through the Shifts app can view all the upcoming shifts, request a swap, pick up open stuff, request time off, look at all the different notes that are happening for that particular shift. And then you can do mobile clock in, clock out. What's cool here is that you can do this based on geolocation support. So what I mean by that is if you want to clock in, but you're still at home, it will actually block you because that schedule and that location has been geolocated to one building. So not until you enter through the coordinates, right, under the office door, do you get the ability to now say, all right, clock in. So it's really cool having that geolocation support for many customers. All right, easy access to job-related content. Just saying the use cases here for shifts, because we keep adding more and more, getting employee handbooks and training guides out there more easily, simplifying onboarding. A lot of customers are using it for onboarding, ramping up training, sending out notifications, corporate communication announcements, and then confirming employees have received important job information. That's all through Microsoft Teams, right? Having the one-to-one conversation or the chat conversation, as well as having experiences that you don't normally get to have as a first line worker. And that's using Stream to have more engagement, whether it's training videos or participating in a live event for a web conference or a town hall. And then leveraging the built-in accessibility. I will talk about accessibility, but being able to translate or put on transcription so you can easily feel included. Here are some capabilities that have rolled out or are rolling out. This is delegated user management. What I absolutely love about this is instead of the IT help desk getting swamped for managing these users that are in a store, basically that help desk person or the admin can say, you know what, the store manager is going to manage all of the users. And then you have SMS sign-in, global sign-out, and off-shift access. So you can't actually come on shift without acknowledging to say, yep, I accept that I'm not getting paid for this time period, but I just want to look at my schedule, which is a really great feature. All right, delegated user management. What you're going to see here is the ability, if a person, like an employee, gets a new phone number, they can quickly, as the store manager, say, oh, hey, they have a new phone number. We still need them to connect in our system. Maybe they need to clock in. I can easily add a phone number on their profile, and now they can get in through their phone number. And maybe that's using MFA. And then this is SMS sign-in. Again, simplifying it and having better protection. And then global sign out. So this is one process to log out. If you have teams of people that use multiple devices, maybe you have one shift, but there's people who share, this is where you can have one process, no matter what device they're on, to log them out. And then, of course, off-shift access. Like I mentioned, this is really allowing teams to notify you when you're off shift and say, hey, I just want to look to see what I've got going on. Everything's grayed out completely. I know there's a state law or something like that for some of the individuals on this call today. So this is called the off-shift access. All right, Microsoft Teams for Android to get push-to-talk, walkie-talkie in July or August. This has already been rolled out, at least to me. I'm an Android user. Really fun, instant push-to-talk communication. It's all within one team. So it broadcasts a message to the group of people that are in your channel. If you haven't checked it out, play with it. It's really great. Works over your data or Wi-Fi. Here we have an interesting use case, but this is really a solution that's been developed for healthcare. This is really patient coordination and integration to patient records management platforms. So no, this isn't Teams, but this is talking about that third party or extension that we are doing to business line applications, because bringing it into Teams makes it really easy and relevant to where people are working today. Not only that, but then using bookings as an app for virtual consults. So this is where you have a calendar and you can build out basically a schedule, a follow-up, and this can be used by a wide variety of people. So this isn't just for the healthcare industry. You could be a hairdresser or a decorator, but basically you are building out your calendar for you to manage your business and appointments. All right, accessibility. I said I was going to get to this. I really want you to see it. This is inline message translation, mobile teams, meeting live captions, meeting recording transcription, and background blur and live captions. Um, we already have AI powered capabilities in Teams today. We just keep on bringing more and more. I think we're up to 40 languages right now in translation. So there are so many different capabilities are being added. Even more so, we've got now present states, visual indicators that are coming, and I'm so excited for the voice commands feature where typing is not required. I usually choose the dark theme, and on probably most of my devices. And then Immersion Reader already exists, which reads the chat or channel conversation to you, which is an incredible feature for those multitaskers or anyone who needs a more accessible experience. I certainly see if it's like a couple paragraphs, I'll go ahead and put on the immersive reader and have it read to me while I'm over on another screen doing something. I think it's a fantastic feature and really adds a lot of benefit. All right, customization and extension. We better pick up the speed here. All right, Teams has got a lot of flexibility, tabs, bots, message extensions. You can have a speaker just focused on one of them for an hour, and there's so much to go through. What I wanted to at least show you is there's things called production ready app templates, are things that are plug and play. They are living in GitHub. There's over 20 today. Company Communicator is a great example. It's probably one of the most frequently used, but you can bring in that production ready code or grab it from GitHub, develop it to configure the way that you need inside of your business, and then deploy it out to teams. Custom branded stickers, icebreaker, the list goes on and on. Badges, request a team, hey, let's stop, wait, what? For any of you IT pro out there, you're looking for a form for a team's request process, not sure how to get started, you've already maybe added it to your SharePoint, like, okay, we already require people to request a SharePoint site, now let's just add Teams to that in some way. Well, here's one that's already pre-built, and it's got a request process, and now all you have to do is modify it to fit your needs. All right, Teams apps and workflow recap. General availability, you can publish your app to Teams. Admin users can pin apps to your left rail. You have app permission policies, setup policies. Those are for your curated experiences. Not everybody has to see or have access to all the apps. You've got an app catalog, so now you can better manage all the different apps that are rolling out inside of the Teams store. You've got third-party single sign-on, making it super easy experience as people are moving and working in the applications. Workforce management integrations, Kronos with Shifts just completed a partnership and integration. Coming soon, additional, of course, there's always going to be more Power Automate triggers for Teams. We've got the Common Data Service Lite. Name is to be determined. And that's where you're going to build Power Apps and virtual agents directly within Teams. Then you have allow contributors to update the app for this workspace. What I mean by that is that you are going to, instead of having somebody go and change something you did and have to re-upload, you can actually allow contributors to work together in one workspace. And then Microsoft Teams Toolkit for Visual Studio. So what that means is that you have a toolkit that is specific for Microsoft Teams you can use in Visual Studio. So you install it, you publish your app to Teams once you're done with it. You can publish to your tenant, and you can publish to your team. So uploading your custom app, I say why bother? Add your Canvas app to Teams directly from Power Apps if you built it there. Super easy. I love that they did this. Just go ahead and add to Teams. Can't get any better than that. We do have crisis communications. This really got a lot of press, but it's the Teams and Power Platform integration. A lot of customers are using this to transform their workplace and deliver communications that are hot off the press, that are really current and ready in a very focused way, so people are getting the information when they need it. Then we have the ability of enhancing the app discoverability. I mentioned setup policies. Not everyone needs everything. So this is the ability to say this particular group can see these pinned apps, this other group sees these other pinned apps, and so forth. And You can also customize the app access using permission policies. So if you haven't figured this out yet, I'm a big fan of personas and right sizing and matching your apps to who needs to use them instead of overwhelming them. So I would definitely look at that permission policy and how to better manage. And then, of course, we have just announced the trust using M365 Publisher Attestation. What this is the ability to see all of the apps. Let me see if I on the next screen. This is where you can manage the apps. You see it all, and you can see the certification behind them. You can see what it's categorized as well as the publisher. And you can disallow or allow what apps you want included inside of your environment. My recommendation to every single customer is to go through all these applications, categorize and figure out what is right for your business, what you want to allow, what you may have a vendor relationship with, what you may already have licenses for, or what you might not use, at least in the near future. And once you figure that out, then you can take those categories and say, okay, let's match them to the personas. Are they for our information workers? Or do you think shifts is better for our first line workers? Or maybe our executives might be another persona and they use something else. So really matching and mixing is going to be unique for every organization, but this is a better way to figure that out by seeing all the applications in one place and understanding what is in compliance. All right, I always say additional Power Automate trigger for teams. Now let's switch to the fourth pillar, and this is security and compliance. Not a lot of slides left, but hopefully everybody's enjoying this goodness. I cannot forget to say that the security and compliance to me is probably top of mind, most top of mind, and one of my favorite subjects. All right, working with confidence. This is the Teams Admin Center. I want everyone to understand that this is how you manage Teams from an IT pro side. You've got the Microsoft Teams Admin Center. You have the Microsoft Security and Compliance Center. And you have the Azure Active Directory Admin Center. There are updates to those three locations on a continual basis. Hence, that is the evergreen services that you are subscribed to. The top things that have just rolled out, what's new for me and for probably many of you, is one-day retention policy, safe links. Those links are vetted before they are entered into Teams and before they are exited. Information barriers, so blocking different groups of people from actually even know that you exist. E-discovery support for your channel conversation, sensitivity labels, and then that audit log support for messaging events. So on the general availability side, we've got Teams Advisor and reports. Policy packages were fantastic. Network Planner, Teams and cross analytics. So now you can have two different teams and see how they gauge against each other. Applying the sensitivity labels, and tenant-wide default for who can present in a meeting. And then the coming soon, I think we're all waiting for this one, background effects policy for admins. And this is where you can block who is going to be putting what background. Maybe you have a standard background that you want to use that you just apply, and that's what everyone will get. But I know there's a lot of ask around how do I control the background effects or background images. Then you have managed Teams rooms from the admin center. No longer running around trying to find out or go switch off on another floor or reboot a device. Legal hold for private channels coming. Access Teams without an internet connection. That's a dream. Discovery of private teams, and batch policy assignment. No more manual. Get started. So this is Advisor for Teams. This is the ability for you as an organization to decide which workload do you want to deploy, and then it will give you a list of all the requirements and even check mark the ones that you already have created and you've already completed, and then let you know which ones you have not. And then you can go ahead and fill those out. But then when you deploy this particular workload, what's absolutely fantastic about it is that it creates a Microsoft team for you And then you can add your deployment team to it, and it gives you two tabs. One of them is a survey tab that has end user surveys for when you roll it out, but then it has a planner tab, which if you have not seen this, any program manager is just going to get so excited, because the planner tab has step by step every single thing you need to deploy that particular workload. And if that workload is chats and meetings, or chats and calling and apps, for instance, you have all the checklists, all the training guides, all the technical guides, all within Planner, already pre-developed for you. A dream I would have had a couple times over, but it's now there. And even if you've already rolled out, I recommend go ahead and deploy that just to confirm you got it all. And you know what? You might find it even just really useful for yourself or to send new information to your end users. Admin policy packages. This lets you control team features that you want to allow or restrict for people for specific sets. And this goes back to what I was referring to for personas. Not everyone is created equal when it comes to what they should be consuming or focusing on in an organization. Much like the education space, certainly you don't want a student to see what the teacher is working on, or a teacher to see what the student's working on, especially if they're consuming different applications. So understanding that, and then knowing how to create that package that matches that particular persona, along with being able to now do batch policy assignment. So this is using PowerShell module that will support it, and they may be coming to the UI, but this is where you can say this group of people gets this policy package, which is absolutely fantastic to make it super easy to provision users, especially great in the education space. All right, Network Planner, make sure, and this is a part of the Admin Center, Teams Admin Center right now, is Network Planner is located inside of it. And this is where you can put in and predict with different office locations your network performance. So you can see throughout there and maybe determine that you have more impact or worse impact in different locations. So you can start to make changes to improve that, especially as we get back in the office. Learning how to use Microsoft Teams, that's aka.ms/success with Teams, and then making sure you assign the right roles. I'm sure we'll be adding more roles in the future, but right now we do have 4 to manage Microsoft Teams. Here's that per team and cross teams analytics. This is the ability to have more control and see what's inside of the usage of that team. Great for the team owner. It is at the team level. Admins, they have their own, of course, but at the team level, you can now see as an owner the analytics and usage of your apps, your chat, how people are interacting within your team. And then cross team. So you can now say, okay, I want to see this team and see how much they're using it. All right, manage teams. This is in the reporting. So as an admin, there are new things always being added. Currently, right now, I think we're at eight, maybe more reports that are specific to either usage or to calling within the admin center. Now here, this is the rooms management with Teams Admin Center. I've mentioned this to you. This is coming out where you are managing a room, but guess what? You don't have to run down 2 floors to go into that room and hit reboot. You can do it from the wonderful your home office if you want, and not have to leave your space, your desk. That's it. I might have went over on time, but I'm super excited to share all of these things. Please stay on top of the latest Teams features through the roadmap, follow on Twitter or Microsoft Teams blogs. Thank you.
Wow. My head's spinning. My head's spinning. That was great, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great
Glad.
job, Michelle.